Alright, so I'm just going to try and burn through this real quick. Just starting from the beginning, and then we're going to try and build a surface that has a berm in it that we create, and then get a volume from that of a particular flooded area. So I'm just going to run with the assumption that you have like an overarching project file for your capstone, and then within that you have a GIS folder where you've got all your GIS files, and then within that we'll have rasters, vectors, our original CSV files, and some other things that will come in handy later. So shapefiles will be the file format that we'll be using for vectors. That's lines, polygons, and all that. To ensure interoperability between QGIS and ArcGIS, since we'll be using both. So when you create your ArcMap 10.6 project, which would be this guy here, the .mxd, just ignore the .txt, I've put that there so you can see it. You'll probably end up by default with the geodatabase somewhere, and you'll want to make sure that you delete it, or else it'll default to that, and if you create any intermediate files, it'll put them in there. You want to be explicit, and you want to say that you're going to create shape files anytime you run a processing tool. That way you've got all your files in one format in one place, and they'll be interoperable between the two programs if you need to use both. So to start, I'm just going to open up QGIS and just say new project. We're going to save it. Mine's already pointed to my project folder within my GIS files, and we're going to say manage wetland QGIS, and then it'll add the QGZ extension. So we have our project, and you can refer to some of my other videos where I add in the imagery and the OpenStreetMap. Those will come in handy. Then we'll go to layer, and we're going to add our Sedley V3 CSV. I understand you're on V4 now. It's more the merrier. So we'll go back to our survey points, find our Sedley V3, open it up. Everything should be default, and we can add the elevation, and we can see it down here. Everything looks good. So we'll click add, and we'll close it. And we'll right click here and click zoom to layer, and there we go. So we've got these guys in here, and we're going to want to make it permanent, because right now it's just pointing to the CSV file and adding it it doesn't add it as a full geospatial feature. It's going to forget if we close the program. So we want to export, save the feature as, and before we did geopackages, now we want to do shapefiles just to ensure interoperability. So it looks like it didn't point me to where I want it to be. So capstone, Sedley, GIS files, and shapefiles. So we're going to call this Sedley V3 survey. There. I guess it'll be corrected if it's ice corrected or otherwise. Now save, and we'll click OK. There. So now we can remove this layer. And yes, we want to do that. So we've got a project in QGIS, and we have our points in here, and we plan on building a berm. We know we need a berm, but the question is, where do we put the berm, and how high do we put the berm? I mean, the intuitive thing is we're going to put it here somewhere, but how high do we put it, and what kind of area is that going to backflood? To answer those questions, we would want to get contour lines. So to get contour lines, you need a surface. So we're going to have to create an initial surface, and then we'll have to create another surface with the berm in it. So we'll have a surface with no berm and a surface with a berm. So using this shapefile, I'm going to take it into the Saga program and have it spit out a TIFF file for me, and then I'm going to put it in the TIFF folder. So I'll go do that, and then I'll come back and we'll add the TIFF file into the project that creates the surface using the kriging method with no berm in it at all yet.